Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Wide with Declan. It is time for your weekly recap on NASCAR news and the latest that is going on in the sport of NASCAR. We started off with a rumor that broke on Tuesday that the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts series could be switching to an electric EV car as a series in the near future. My thoughts on this: no, do not do it. And Dale Jr. actually came out saying it would ruin the series and please never even consider it. And then it worked, sort of, because Vice President John Probst came out again yesterday on Wednesday and said that it is not happening anytime soon. So I think the one thing that I feel NASCAR just has to follow and that I'm a strong believer in is changing the O'Reilly series to EV. Like, the O'Reilly series is widely considered the only series that reminds fans of old NASCAR. Like, teams still build their own cars, have their manufacturer supplied engines. And I wonder if NASCAR's ever heard of. I wonder if now NASCAR has officially maybe heard of the phrase "if it ain't broke, don't fix it." So that's what I follow for this O'Reilly series, and I hope it never happens. I love the O'Reilly series the way it is. Never change it. And then our second piece of news this week is there's a Cup Series debut this weekend as Daniel Dye, just back from the suspension, will pilot the number 78 car for Live Fast Motorsports in the Cup Series race at Talladega this weekend, with sponsorship from Champion Container. I mean, obviously there's mixed opinions based on NASCAR's approval process and how he hasn't stepped foot in a Cup car ever. But I think I'm excited. This is a good learning curve, and I don't know how he's going to do this weekend. I think he might struggle because obviously these Cup cars are so much different than anything he's ever driven. So my thoughts, and it's Talladega, so he'll probably be able to stay in the draft and learn a ton on Sunday, considering he makes the field, because I forgot to mention this week there are 41 cars going for 40 spots, and that 78 is one of them. The five open cars going for 4 open spots in the race. It's the 36 chartered teams and then 4 open cars. So the 5 open cars going for 4 open spots this week are the RCR number 33 of Jesse Love, the NY Racing 44 of Joey Gase, I already said the Live Fast 78 of Daniel Dye, the MBM 66 of Chad Fincham, and the Beard 62 of Casey Mears. So it's going to be really interesting to see who DNQs. If I had to pick who is going to DNQ of those 5, I'd say either the 44 or the 78. No, not the 78. I'd say either the 44 or the 66, because, I mean, and this makes it feel like old NASCAR back when we had 47 cars show up every week for 43 spots in the race. Just love it. Remember, we had this last year at the Chicago Street Race where there were 41 cars going for 40 spots. And Corey Hyman, the 2311-67, who has not entered this week at Talladega, but did run this past week at Kansas, was the one to DNQ there. So I wonder what will happen this weekend. And then another piece of news from this week is we will have a Truck Series road course battle at Watkins Glen on May 8th. As it was announced, yesterday that Shane Van Gisbergen will pilot the Nice Motorsports number 4 at Watkins Glen on May 8th, on Friday, May 8th. And then just today it was announced Connor Zilic will pilot the Spire Motorsports number 71. So I feel we're in for a really entertaining truck race between those two up at Watkins Glen here in a couple weeks. And then just some more final thoughts. The whole thing with Kyle Busch and Denny Hamlin. Kyle Petty had his thoughts on it yesterday. He said that Kyle needs to shut his mouth because he's not doing anything on the racetrack. Personally, I think that's a little harsh coming from Kyle Petty, but considering Kyle Busch is down back. I don't know where he is in the points, but he's consistently running in the 30s now every week. And Denny Hamlin is still in winning form, peak winning form, and winning races. So I feel Hamlin gets the better of this argument. and then that transitions perfectly into the race weekend preview here in Talladega. Talladega, man, one of my favorite weekends of the year, where we have the Cup Series, the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, and the ARCA Menards Series for a beautiful triple header weekend here in Alabama, down in Alabama. So if I had to pick some guys to win, who I believe to be up front, it's Talladega. That's all I need to say. Never know who's going to win. Never know who's going to get the draft. Never know who's going to drive their way to the front. Obviously, NASCAR did change the stage lengths for this week. So stage one, so last year it was the stages were 60, 60, and 68. This year they are 98, 45, and 45. So stage one will conclude at lap 98. Stage 2 will conclude at lap 143, and Stage 3 will conclude at lap 188. So I think that'll present a challenge. That'll present something different, because those final two stages will not require a pit stop, like we see every stage requires a pit stop at Talladega in recent years. This is to prevent fuel saving, because it's been infamous in these last couple of years that NASCAR has had major fuel saving problems at the super speedways, where drivers are just straight up running half throttle because the draft is so powerful. And this is to encourage drivers to go all out the full race. And so that's it for this week on 4 Wide with Declan. Thanks for watching, subscribe, and bye for now.